All right, so we're playing chords, we're doing really well, but at some point everybody aspires to take it to the next level, and they see someone dabbing little notes in between their chords or before and after their chords, and it kind of just sounds cool. And to be honest, I've seen people do this, and I get the impression, like when I was starting, and I got the impression that, wow, they're pretty good. And it turns out, well, they're not really good at all. But because they were able to do something like that, it really made them look better than they were. And in some cases, if you look good, you are good. But in others, it's not so much, right? So I always was intrigued by that. Now, the first step we usually take to that is playing like what we know of as walk-ups and walk-downs. And those are basically just like, a few notes that we play in between from one chord to another to kind of stitch it all together, right? That's our first sort of toe dabble in the pool when it comes to playing notes for most of us, okay? And then the second would be, little 2-note, 4-note, 6-note little riffs or runs that we can do in between chords, at the end of every verse leading into the chorus, at the end of every chorus going back to the verse, or, even as an intro to the song, okay? So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to make up a few of these riffs and give you some sort of, some little something in your arsenal, right? But hopefully, again, after this video, you'll be able to make your own, because it really isn't hard, and we just have to follow really a simple sort of pattern or formula to sound good, okay? So let's get into it. Now, what we'll do is, to start off, we'll use A, okay? And I'm going to play my A this way, but you might play it that way. Now, when you play your open chords, we're not going to use B because it's not an open chord, it's a bar chord. But every other open chord, A, C, D, E, F, G, A minor, and E minor, when you play the fingering that's recommended to you when you learn the guitar, you will find that there is a root note on every ring finger, okay, except for A. A, the root is on your big finger if you play with 3 fingers fretting inside that fret. And if you play it with 1, well, it just becomes a matter of feel. It's the middle string of the 3 that you are fretting with that 1 bar, okay? So the reason I'm starting in A is to show you that we can do a cute little riff using and starting on either the A, which is the root, or the note that's more convenient because it's at the end of our fretting finger, right on the tip, and that's the E. Okay, so the riff would be this, and it's real simple because it's based on the concept that we've seen in other videos of building a 4-note box that sounds good with the chord that we're playing, or playing with, or playing over. Okay, so in this case, we're actually playing the chord, and instead of playing over the riff, we're playing after the riff, after the chord, we're playing the riff, okay, and then back to the chord. So it's a little different strategy, but the theory is the same. Make a 4-note box off of the root, or in this case, a note that's fretted in that chord, because then you're going to sound good, right? So let's take the A, played my way with the bar, okay? Now all I got to do is strum my A, roll up on my finger right to the tip, and now I have my E note, okay? Now I just play a 4-note box from the E. So that would be E, 2 frets up here, 1 under the E here, and 2 frets up from that here. So now I've got that's it. Okay, now if I want to play off the root, no problem. I just got to find the root. And I could play upwards like this. Instead of going down, I could play it up. Or I could play it down, but it'll take me over here. Okay? which is okay. I mean, I could do this. I could do, or I could do back to the A, no problem. All right? So let's go through that again. We can play off of the E, right? So there's my A chord, I'm playing it. There's my 4 notes, and I can play the A again. But I'm going to focus off the E and the A, because they're going to be the most useful to us. Now the E, when you're fretting it this way, is this note right here. If you just curl up your fingertip, 3rd fret down, or 3rd string down, 2nd fret. That's your E note, okay? So there's my A chord, there's my E note, and under it, as always on the fretboard, is my A note, which we'll get to in a minute. So for now, we're going to play our A. All right, so what did I just do? Okay, it's simple, and it's based on everything that we've looked at in the past, all the theory, the fretboard theory, the octave scale, the ray scale. It's all the same theory. So we have our A, we strummed our A. Now we're going to start on this E note just by just curling up that finger. If you play your A like this, then your finger is right there, okay? So you're just going to go, the hardest part of this is making sure with your picking hand that you pick that D string. Not the A string, the D string, okay? Because that's your E chord, your E note, okay? So again, A, we go and we pick that E and we play a 4-note box. We could play it once, we could play it 2 or 3 times, it doesn't matter. And then we play the A again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So all we're doing is playing that 4-note box off of the E. So that would be E, F sharp, A, and B. E, F sharp, A, and B. And we can repeat that as often as we want and go back to our A. And check this out. We could even go into our E, play the same, remember that root on my ring finger now off the E major chord, so we can do the same, back to the A. We could do the same to the E, and stay again in the E instead of going to the A. Either chord will sound just fine. They're all going to use the same 4-note box, okay? So remember, regardless of the chord that you're playing, all that does is determine what notes you're going to play in between or after the chord to make your little riff. So for example, if I am playing the chord of D, where's my ring finger? It's right here, and that is a D note. So I'm going to play my chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, do, do, do. 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. It's the same theory. Okay? Now the only issue here is we really don't have anywhere to go after we play the 4 notes. Okay? So 2, 3, 4, we can't really go anywhere. Now we could take that note here and come back into our box when we get a little more experience, but we're kind of at the end of our rainbow. So we'd have to, again, when you get more experience, you'll figure out there's a way to get back into this D here. And then we can continue the little riff going. To this D here. Or we could go sort of a roundabout way of doing it. But again, I don't want to confuse you. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it to the 4-note box. So off the D. Okay, off the A, can go E, 4-note box. E chord off my ring finger, same 4-note box. A chord off of the A, E, ring finger. So no matter which chord we go to and play off of, we're going to make the same 4-note box, right? Either off of the A or off of the E note. All right, so let's go to, let's say, C. We can get a little more creative on this one because we're higher up, so we got more room to kind of move down the fretboard a little bit, just to show you. So the first thing we're going to do is play our C chord, and then we got to get to our C note. Now there are two here. We have two options. We have this note off of our ring finger, as usual. That's a C. So we could do... I only played 3 that time because I felt that was kind of like a melody. First time I played all 4. Second time, something a little different, okay? So again, 4-note box off of the root, which was on my ring finger. C. Okay? If I'm going to another chord, off the root, back to the C. C and G always work well together, so I can combine those two using the same theory, the same box. Or I could do one box here, down, go into my G and do this box here. Or I could go from the G, when I get better, and I can move my ring finger down and solo off the C after the G chord, right? But that's experience. That's our ears telling us, hey, that's okay. It sounds good, right? So again, let's slow it down and let's work off this C. So we have C off the ring finger, note 1, slide it up for note 2, note 3, note 4, and if we want, we can go back to the C. Or we could play C, note 1, 2, 3, 4, go backwards, go it again, change the order, and it's going to sound just fine. All right, so it's all off of the root, and it's a 4-note box. Okay, so we've done G, okay, we've done that different ways. We've done it off the C, we've done it off the A, we've done it off the E. Okay, so you really don't have to know the name of your notes as long as you follow your ring finger. So if I'm on E and there's my ring finger, that's note 1. I don't have to know that's an E. It helps if I do. And then I go 2 frets over. I don't have to know that that's an F sharp, and I don't know that I have to know that that's an A and a B. But it sure does help moving forward, okay? All right, now, we're in the C. We play this little thing here. Right? Let's make it more. So, same theory. C, ring finger, 4 notes. Now, if we keep going, there's the octave of C. Now I can do the whole thing again. Over the border, move over 1 fret. My C. So let's slow it down and show you what I did, right? Here we go. So, C, then we plucked the C root, slid up to the D, went 1 string under, played those 2. Now we got our 4-note box. We can play it. We could sit here and play on this a little bit. Now we do it all over again, okay? So we go down here to the octave of C, slide over, and do it all again. As many times as we want. We could even go down here and come back. Right? There's our C. There's our C. So we're following that C path through the guitar. And as long as we stay on that path, 2 frets over, 2 strings down to the octave, 2 frets over, cross the border, so it's now 3 strings over to the octave. So my next octave in C, if I really want to, I could go like this. There's my next C right there. And then I could do a little... There's my C. And there's my C. Okay? Or we could have gone into a G, like we could have gone... It's pretty cool, eh? Like, and it's not difficult. All this is, all you see me doing, once you put the theory in place, once you know in your head where you have to go, that's the first part. The second part, well, it's practice. It's those motor skills, the guitar foundation, that is going to determine how good that you're going to be able to do that. How fast, how smooth, how you make your notes. So that's practice. Practice, 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 practice. But the first part is you got to get the theory. All right? So one last time, we're going to go through, we're going to start on that A chord, okay? And our options are to solo off, 4-note box, off that E note into the A. And then we're going to do it off the A. Go into an E chord and we'll do it off there. A chord, right? Then we'll go to a C chord and we're going to go. And it's expanded a little bit. So there's all kinds of things we can do, right? As long as we stay in the proper path. Now, again, you can copy me, slow the video down, freeze frame it, whatever, figure out which notes I'm playing in that box. Absolutely. But if you put the theory to memory and motor skills, you can do this anywhere, okay? You might be playing an A major bar chord. Take the A and end up on this A here. Back to your A bar chord. You're using the exact same theory, but you're doing it off the A note. 2 over, 2 down, 2 over, 2 down takes you over the border, so you go over here to the 3rd fret. There's your A. There's the A that you're going to end up on, okay? Now you could go further up high, but you're not going to get an A because you end here at an E. But that's good because the E sounds good, and you're going to come back to that A. And we're going to go A. A. Okay? Now, lastly, we could do it backwards. So your chord progression starts in a G. So your song is G, D, G, and whatever. Okay? So everybody's waiting, hey, what's Ray gonna play? What's Pete gonna play? What's Joe gonna play? What's Brenda gonna play? All right, so you start here. You know your first chord is G. So for maximum effect, I want to be as far away from that as possible. Okay? So I might take this G right here. Okay? That's an E, F, G. Right? So I might go. and there's a G here. Right? Then I might jump to this G. There's a G there. And I might go to that G. Now, the reason I played that string, it's an open G, so I could go, or I could start with that string, right? You don't have to, right? So again, let's start. G. There's my G, and I might go to this G here. As long as I start and stop on the G to sort of drive home the point that I'm in G, right? It's going to sound like a G. Right? Now we're going to go up, across the border, right? Stop on that G. Maybe I'll do a little, just to let people know that that is the G. G. And then come home. There's the G into the G. Right? Now if we do this all in one fluid motion, it might look or sound something like this. That's pretty cool, eh? And it's so simple. So once again, the theory, get the theory in your head, map the theory out, understand the theory of where you can go, and more importantly, where you can't go. You want to maintain that G, right? G. So now we get to the second string down, which is string number 4, second string from the top, or I'm sorry, third string, which is the second, 1, 2. We're actually on the third string from the top. That's our G octave. And then it starts again, right? We got this little box here, 4 notes. To get to our octave, we got to cross the border, and there's our G octave here. And we can do it again. Now to come back, we got to cross the border. I could have gone here and worked back, depending on the kind of melody, but I'm going to go here. So I stopped here, and I'm going to go. There's my G. G, and there. All right, give it a try. And remember, look, when you play your guitar every day, no matter what you do, you pick it up, you strum a few notes, you strum a few chords, you pick a few notes, you're actually being constructive. You're doing something. You're getting the feel of the guitar. Even if you're watching TV and you're just holding your guitar, you get the feeling of knowing which string to pluck if you want certain notes, right? And that way, you don't have to keep looking down at what string. You kind of automatically know that, hey, I'm going to hit that string there, or I'm going to hit this string here, and whatever. And you're doing something positive by just playing your guitar every day. All right, see you soon.